destroying
Hello,
us.
welcome back to my channel. Luke and Connect back here. Now, next week, Connect won't be able to make it to the podcast. I forgot the reason why. He told me, but I forgot. I don't have good memory, my apologies. I forget this type of stuff. But yeah, tickets. I was not planning to talk about tickets today. I was like, I don't want to talk about tickets today. But then the news came out of the new ticket sponsor, and I was like, well, we're gonna have to talk about tickets at least a little bit, won't we? I'll just say this: the club needs serious change at the board level. Like the board is just taking the piss at the moment. I was watching a stream from Big Steve recently, and Big Steve said, paraphrasing here, he was saying some of these people will pretend to be your friends, and then the moment you turn your back, they'll think you're rebellant. Perfectly put by Big Steve there. So that's how I feel with this club right now. It's all PR, and they got like they had I believe it was BBC, correct me if I'm mistaken, tried to reach out to the club to ask questions and they didn't answer. That's shocking, isn't it?
To anyone in the stream, go and check out the Big C's latest video. It's the half-an-hour video. It really says how we're all feeling. It doesn't matter if you're from Alps, Belgium, where I'm from down the tough coast of England, Manchester itself. We all think the same way. We all want the same thing. The problem is the club just want their cake and eat it now.
Yeah.
Basically, we won the Champions League, treble, and they're done. They're clearly done. Because if you're treating fans like this now, I mean, like, yes, Real Madrid obviously, but Madrid have never screwed over their fans. The fans are still a loyal supporters.
What Dasilde actually puts in here in the comments, talking about Real Madrid, is what Man City needs is for the club to be owned by young fans who grew up on Guardiola success, Real Madrid style. You know how the club is owned by the fans for Real Madrid? So, like, if you compare to Real Madrid, like, you can compare transfer strategies to Real Madrid. So that makes sense. Sacking managers, like, comparing that strategy to Madrid. But when you compare ownership to Madrid, it's completely different because Madrid is owned by the fans and they vote on a president. And if they don't like the president, you're gone. It's simple as that. They can't do this in Real Madrid. They can't raise the ticket prices like that because they're gone. And they'll never be back. So for Real Madrid and German clubs in general, not just any particular German club, but German clubs are able to, like, they have that 50+1 rule. They are able to control the club to fans. So in England, we don't have that, do we?
No, we don't.
It should be something that's really looked at a bit more, to be honest, having something like that in place in England, because you can so clearly tell how out of touch this club is with its fans at the moment, especially when it comes to the ticket pricing. And it's showing no signs of slowing down at the moment with the new sponsors we've got on it. So, yeah, like you said, serious change is really needed, and we should be taking notes from other teams' books, whether in England or elsewhere in the world.
Yeah, I just saw it from Glimpse, by the way. Big up to Glimpse. I can't sleep much. I hope you're feeling good, though. But Chelsea under 21s beats the adult team 3-0.
Well, then again, ours did it as well. So let's not pretend it's actually funny. And we've had issues as well this season. But the thing is, right, going back to the thing, we'll go on to actual football. Even if we were winning, by the way, I would still call this stuff out. People out like, trust me, we still would, because even if we're winning trophies still this season, it's unacceptable no matter when it is. And I guarantee you, right, when 115 comes out, they will drop ticket prices and it'll go through the roof again, because they probably know they do it now. They've got the biggest back. This is bad right now. If it gets worse than this, I've said before, this 9-minute thing, I understand the idea of it, but it's not going to work. Because let's be real here. The only way you're ever going to get any change is if you do a full-on protest. Embarrass the club PR, embarrass them at the pocket, because then you'll see a real difference in the news. Because if you do it just like boycott or just go in, to me it just like it's not going to do anything. Like I appreciate sentiment, and I'll back the sentiment. I'll back the 894 and the groups, and I'll support them because obviously at the end of the day, right, they want what we want. But the problem is, you have to go more extreme. You have to, because
absolutely.
owners like this do not care, and it's proven they clearly don't care, because this is a deal with Viagogo, one of the most corrupt ticket touting websites known to bloody everyone. Like they literally charge 5 times the actual price of an average ticket in football or even concerts. So if you genuinely think that the club care about what we think, then look at this recent deal.
I was absolutely shocked that they even on that they like. I was just going through Twitter, and you know what's funny? Yeah, I was going through Twitter, and I was reading tweet after tweet, probably every third or fourth tweet about the tickets. Then I see, I refresh my Twitter, just posted by Man City announcing that new deal. When people are already talking about the tickets, it's crazy. Big up, by the way, Wim, Rosa, and Rijak. Big up to Rijak as well. We're trying to get something planned together for it to come on channel. You think, by the way, the new sponsors are for purely the blue wall. I don't care. They shouldn't be there. They should be there.
Oh, this blue wall, man. It's all a bunch of bollocks, man. The thing is, right, you can't have a blue wall and then raise the ticket prices to ridiculous amounts. End of the day, right? I will be all for that being a cauldron of the core fan base. Like, I'm all for that. Get the core fan base there, tifos and flares, and make it an atmosphere. But the club don't want that, because it's not about the money. If they want a good atmosphere, they can very easily keep the south stand and that other stand, the north stand, and make them both electric, and keep the bloody tourists as well besides. But make both the ends of it a proper cauldron. Yeah, there's your solution right there.
Yeah, what are you saying? Connect about that, because I personally think the blue wall. You know what I think? Yeah, I think that the club has people who genuinely care and people who are taking the piss, who just care about the finances. And I think the blue wall is caught in the middle there. People who care, who want that blue wall, and people who just care about the money. So.
Yeah, I mean, the concept of the blue wall on its own, it sounds quite nice, like Luke said, getting your most loyal supporters there, almost, the guys that'll make the most noise, okay? And the concept of it is quite nice. Almost reminiscent of I think in Dortmund Stadium they have the yellow wall, I think. And if we could make something like that, that'd be awesome. But knowing us, it's like you say, it's kind of in that middle area. Some people that genuinely care for the club have probably thought of that in their head, probably taken inspiration off Dortmund and have come up with the blue wall. And then some people that obviously cover the business end of it are obviously thinking that's a good marketing tool that we can use to almost make fans want to go there more, and it's more seats for tourists as well, which is what it can ultimately become. So for me, I'm in agreement with it. The fact that it's kind of caught in that middle area between people that care and people that don't really care.
Yeah, you know what's shocking as well about the tickets, because how many years is that now in a row since they've been raised? I believe it's 6 years in a row that they've been raised, probably more.
They've been frozen for years, and the problem is like you got to remember. Yes, the prices are going up, but the wages aren't going up in the country to match it. It'd be all well and good, right, if the wages went up the country to match ticket prices. No one will complain otherwise. But when you're pricing out the local fan, which bear in mind, Manchester isn't a rich area, by the way. It's not. It's still quite a very poor area. Like yes, the big city places look little flashy, but it's the suburban area around it that's where it really matters. Like I'm sure, obviously, both you've probably been there. Like you see, like the houses nearby on the street. That's what you're looking at. That's probably what Manchester mostly is. Suburban area, like where I'm from. We have areas.
The Man City fans, especially. Because Man United is mostly from the central area of Manchester, and Salford, which is the richer area of Manchester, and then the Man City fans are from this southern part, I guess, of Manchester, which is even less wealthy.
Wouldn't complain about prices, right, if we could afford it. But the problem is the more you're doing this and the way you're treating the fact that they haven't even responded to a combined letter that was put out in February from all the groups together towards the club, and they're blatantly ignoring it and then putting out a thing of the up. You know what they're doing? Because I'm sorry, right? This isn't some like pretending nothing happened. They're doing this and carrying on. All you're doing is poking the bear, as Big Steve said. The more you poke the bear, the more you get a bigger reaction. And trust me, if the fans have got to do it, they will protest. And if they do it, I'll fully back it.
Fans were protesting about tickets when we were winning trophies. Now, after this disaster season, and we know, you know what the thing is, yeah? A lot of young fans don't want to join these protests for ticket prices because they don't care. Like, let's be honest. The young fans, to be brutally honest, I'm 22. Only last year have I started to realize the value of money. You don't realize the value of money until you get to a certain age. Like you think you understand, but you don't. I promise you, you don't understand until you get to like that age where you are paying your own bills. A lot of these younger fans are not participating in these protests because they don't actually understand the value of money. Now that the season has been terrible, they will want to participate in this protest because the older fans will be there. And that's the only thing that the younger fans and older fans can agree on. The ticket prices have to stop going up. So this protest, I think it's shocking that they do this in a season this bad. It's almost like they're intentionally trying to get protest or something. It's just weird. I don't know what's going on at the club right now, to be honest. Big up to Rosa, by the way. Alf and Connect's wall is more blue than the blue wall. By the way, Luke, you need to get some stuff on the back of your wall there.
Trust me, it is in the works. I need to get it sorted out. I've been blank for ages. I think I've got to do it now because I'm actually getting a decent amount of people watching now. So yeah, trust me, I've got something on the way for that. I've got a shirt that I wanted to get for a long time. You guys know who Elano is, right? Yeah, Elano.
Yeah.
He was my first favourite City player that I had. And I've finally got the purple kit that Elano's left on the back of it. So I'm going to try and get a couple kits in the background here. Like Haaland, De Bruyne and that, and the players that I love watching, and trust me, it'll look good in a few weeks, but I've got to get it sorted out. But I said money. It's getting the money for it. It will look better. It will look better.
Even the kits are expensive now. Do you remember when a kit, full kit, pants and shirt, it's less than what shirts are now, by the way?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Big up to Oliver, by the way. He's got a mad agenda. He's got a mad Toby Alderweireld agenda. He thinks that Toby Alderweireld will come back, will come to Man City and beat Gaffer. Or maybe assistant coach. Not sure what he's saying, really. Joined the call today. Big up Oliver. Big up Oliver. Big up to This Is City as well. Yes. The club is an absolute joke. So out of touch. It's unreal. Rich people in general are out of touch, to be honest. Genuine question. Is it? Go ahead. Before I.
Sorry. Yeah, before you carry on, I'll just say, because the thing is, the BBC and that are properly reporting on this. Like, the media are starting to catch on to our gust of it. And as you said earlier, they're not commenting because the club know that they're like, because, like, we're making a now. And we'll keep doing it because the more you ignore the issue, there's some meeting next Thursday, right? But I'll tell you what, that'll do nothing. The problem is they're going to try and put the fire out while they can. Keep us happy if possible. They'll use the Vert still if we get Florian Wirtz in as a way to try and appease us. I tell you right now, I ain't falling for that kind of rubbish. At the end of the day, right? Give us fair ticket prices, then of course we'll celebrate the deal. But how can we appreciate the players if they're going to ruin the actual experience of getting to the stadium? I actually want to go to the ground and watch Haaland and Wirtz if we get Wirtz in, Camavinga if we get Camavinga in. Enjoy the football next season. I'm not paying 85 quid for a ticket at some point. What is this?
I can't afford a ticket at that. I can. Here's the thing. I can afford a ticket at 85 quid. I can do that. I have my own income now.
Yeah.
But week in, week out for the whole season, no. Like 38 games.
How much?
85 quid. That's ridiculous money, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, I said 85 because you know what they'll do. I mean, increasing it at some point. If you remember at one point, right, it was like 30 quid for a home game. For
Not even
most
that
games.
long
It's like,
85. If it is £85 per
like
ticket,
£3.5 grand.
yeah,
£3.5 grand.
£3.5 for a full season in the Premier League alone, not even counting Champions League and whatnot.
Like
Wild.
that's the reason why I have not been at the Etihad for literal years, other than being in Belgium. But like,
£50 at home against Leicester in midweek next week. £50 minimum ticket against Leicester. They're a get it pretty much. Make it 20 quid. What are you going to lose out on? £50 for a game that you're right. You do like 4 or 5-0. Cool, but it's still 50 quid. Make it 20.
You know what Club Brugge do? I always compare to Club Brugge, don't I? But it's really the best comparison I can bring up. It's the best comparison I can bring up because it's the two clubs I root for, Man City and Club Brugge, and it's complete polar opposites in management. One really cares about the fans because literally the entire management is Club Brugge fans, and the other is, well, not Man City fans. Club Brugge, when we have a cup game against, let's say, Belicia Pilsen, a team that is like in the second division, they will literally lower the prices. Like just because it's a second division team. If we get like KV Mechelen, the prices will stay the same as normal. But if it's a second division team, okay, prices are lowered because it's a second division team. Imagine Man City doing that. Fans will be in love with this club. This club will never get criticized if that happens. But question here by Rajek now, which I think kind of leads on to this question. Is the ticketing issue made worse with how bad our season is? I think all of us can agree, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but also it'd be an issue even if we're winning because the thing, look, I'm not going to pretend right that I wouldn't be as bad. Like it wouldn't be, but we'll still sit and talk about it though because the reality is it's affecting the fans because. At the end of the day, I'm not going to be sat here ignoring it. If there's issues that the club are doing right, it's up to us as content creators to talk about it. Even if we get 100 people at most, if possible, watch the videos. 100 people have still tuned in to see what we have to say about it. There's 100 new eyes on the situation, and obviously LB does it. Obviously, Sid does it, and that's great because I'm happy them guys because they've got big audiences and they're putting it out themselves, and we'll keep helping them out to do it as well. But as a fan base, we've got to do is stop fighting each other, come together, and work on a solution to it. Because again, this is a war to everyone this year about opinions, about where people are from. We've got to stop this because the club here are winning here, but not how stupid we're being and argue each other. Let's just stop what we're doing and argue each other. Realize the season is what it is, but let's at least try and get together to form a solution against the club because at the end of the day, right, the club here are ruining a lot of experience, especially a lot of younger fans who are growing up, bro, who live in the local area, could get priced out of tickets. A lot of City fans, Generation City fans, are going to miss out on tickets because of the prices. It ain't fair.
Yeah. And Liam here, Tessa City, go subscribe to Tessa City, by the way. Das Shield put his link in the chat. Liam was apparently at Madrid at home this season, and he says that Adams. I mean, I've heard this 1,000 times, but the more people say, excuse me, the more people say it, the more you know it's true, isn't it? Literally, every Man City fan that's been to that game tells me the atmosphere was terrible. Now I don't listen to audio anymore on because I do watch-longs, but so I don't have audio on anymore, but. I think we can all tell through TV the atmosphere of a team, like kind of. You can't tell it as well, but when I look at the Etihad, it looks a lot more empty. When I look at TV, it looks a lot less lively. Even through TV, you don't even have to be in the stadium to see the decline. And if it's that bad that you don't even need to be in the stadium to see that there's issues, it's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. I'm the same when it comes to watch along because I don't have the volume on, so it can be a bit difficult to track the atmosphere. But I kind of agree. Like, sometimes when I think of the Etihad one, it has had a good atmosphere. Like when we beat Madrid like 4-0 a couple of years ago. Like you could see like flags waving in the crowd and all that. You could see that the fans were so obviously up for it. But at the moment, I haven't, to memory this season, I haven't seen that, and I haven't seen it often. And it's just a shame, really. And if ticket prices keep going up, some people that can contribute to atmosphere, that do try and contribute, some of them might not be able to even end up coming because of ticket prices. If £85 minimum is becoming the norm, I know £50 for Leicester, and £50 for Leicester is still crazy, but if £85 a ticket is becoming the norm, then some of those fans are indefinitely not going to be coming because they can't. It's not real. It's not realistic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing as well, guys, like as this city as well about the Khaldoon interview. The thing is, right, Khaldoon, right, and I know what the club are going to do. They'll use the 115 victory if it is a victory to paper over the cracks. I'm not doing that because look, if we are found innocent, great, but it's very easy for us to celebrate that and forget what's going on, and that's what we're going to try and do. It's up to us to keep the pressure on the club on a situation. Look, obviously we will celebrate if we do found innocent for it, but the problem is it doesn't mean that they're let off the hook because this involves the guilty. This involves the relationship with the fans, and the more we talk about it, the more irritated they're going to get the fact that it's still in the news. This is what we've got to keep doing. Keep rattling the cage, because the more you do that, you'll start seeing a real difference. I think Thursday, I don't really care about what happens in that, but what we got to keep doing is coming together as fans and keep pushing it. Because again, £85 for a match ticket, it's honestly a disgrace. It should be like maybe even one further that if that. It should not be £85 for a ticket at all in any game.
You know what? Yeah, Rosa put it said in chat. The media have their new slander toy for Man City, because if Man City gets found not guilty on 115, the media is not going to report on 115. It's just going to be forgotten. They'll go after Man City. Look at these tickets. Look at these tickets. Because the media, we all know the media doesn't want to embarrass the Premier League, so they'll just completely change the subject. So we can't even celebrate 115 at that stage, because now you're just a clown. Now you can win 115, you're just clowns. That's what we are, isn't it? We're almost like Man United. They have had their own tent and all that. Back up to Liam. I believe Leicester at £50. Yeah, it will be half empty in it. Oliver with his agenda again. I believe Toby Alderweireld could fix the ticket prices.
No one can, mate, at this point.
Maybe he can score a few own goals to make stuff worse for us, and then they'll lower ticket prices.
The thing is, right, look, like for me, I'll always back the team, and look, and the club will always be something that I love. But the problem is when the club is run by a board that, to me, have just changed their tune so quickly on stuff that they originally promised the fans when they came in. I get you got to make money, but there's a way of doing it without losing your relationship with the fans. I'm all for making money. I'm all for improving and making things better. I'm all for that hotel being built and the stand being built if it's done with the right reasons, not just done to just encourage a Disneyland atmosphere. That's not what it should be. It should be going to a football match every week, home or away, FA Cup, Premier League, Champions League, League Cup, whatever it may be. But we're all going to the games, and we're there to support the team. We're not there to, pay £400 each time we go in the club shop, every time we go, on half and half scarves, which was just a rip off anyway. On overpriced match day shirts, home, away, third, fourth, fifth. It's gone to the point now where we become like Arsenal, merchandise FC. We're becoming the very thing. Become the very thing we swore to destroy.
You know what's an interesting question, and I'll ask both of you this. Do you think that when the board or when the SAEK first took over, a lot of these people in the club were still the same people? Like, okay, new people are brought in, but a lot of people were the same. A lot of board members were the same. The only thing that really changed was that the money came in. But as more and more of these board members have left, these Man City fans and boards, they've been replaced with board members that only care about finances. And gradually, the board has just become less and less caring about Man City. Do you agree with that?
I mean, it's probably quite likely, to be honest. That is the case. You know, they probably have replaced like people that probably care about this club a bit more and replace them with more business orientated people. People that focus on pulling in the best profits, seeing how much they can wring out of a match day fan's wallet, and whatnot. And yeah, that I think that is what it has probably ultimately become. For the most part, there's probably some people still in that club that still obviously have a passion for it, but I feel like those numbers are slowly dwindling down as they try to just keep earning more money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you know what it is, right? You know that saying, I'm not sure if you guys watched the film, right? But in The Dark Knight, it said about you live long enough to become the villain, being the hero.
Yeah.
This is what I can't remember the full quote, but people know what I'm on about.
Yeah.
That quote sums perfectly up this club now. It's become the very thing it should never have been. We always said we won't become like Man United the way they're run now, but we're becoming them because for some reason the board have just thought we won Champions League, we made it, done. No, it should be right. The fact is, you keep the way it is. I'm not saying you can't improve the club. Of course you can, but it doesn't mean you have to like rip off the foundation that you set. Just you go like then you said you created the CFA, you created all this stuff right to improve the club and the facilities to make it a match towards Real Madrid and Barcelona and Bayern Munich and that many teams like because I think obviously they're on par with them now, which is amazing. But when you start doing this, when you start polluting the fan base, and and again, because again, tourists aren't fans. They're not there to support team. They're there to get pictures on Instagram, and then that's it. And forget about it. The global fan base, the ones that come over from let's say Belgium, Netherlands, Norway, Japan, South Korea, Australia, wherever they're from, right? You come over here with how much you like the trains, get over here, but you support the team because that's what you're there for.
And if you're traveling to England to watch a game, it's already more expensive. It's already more expensive to go to Manchester. Like if you're in, let's say, northern France, okay, you drive up and it's maybe a 4-hour drive or something like that, maybe 5 hours. But like most people, because this is the annoying part about England being an island, or Great Britain, ought I say, you have to fly there most of the times. Flying is expensive. We're talking about an economy where inflation is a thing. Now the tickets are going up like hell. Like the people who are coming in now from outside of Manchester itself, from outside of England, these there are no foreign fans who can afford to watch Man City. It's only tourists at this point because the foreign fans, it's more expensive to get a hotel than ever. It's more expensive to get a plane ticket than ever, and the Man City tickets, to add insult to injury, are skyrocketing when you play against a relegation club. Right. Because that makes sense. Fake up Bollywood. Big up to Stop Online Hate as well. I appreciate your enthusiasm. But I doubt it's happening. Edwin is playing right now. Sander Luik tegen Mechelen. I think 1-1. Madrid fans would get beat up over here if they were in the home end. Well, let me word this correctly. If you are in the home end of a different club and you're a rival team, like a European rival, or a domestic rival, like a Man United fan in the Man City home end, if you get beat up, honestly, that's on you. Like I can't lie. If I went in a Cercle Brugge end wearing my Club Brugge kit, bro, I did not leave alive. Let me tell you, I did not leave alive. If I go in an maybe Anderlecht, they've got a lot to do this. Maybe I walk away from that, but If you walk in with another team's kits into home end and you get beat up, that is on you. But in the Etihad, it's half the fucking stadium. like you know.
Do you know what's crazy, right? I saw today, Yeovil Town, they're a team like the National League, I think South, right? Obviously, they've been promoted to National League recently, right? They started doing things, right, where if you criticize the ownership of the club, you get banned.
Yeah.
If you're found on Twitter criticizing the ownership of the club, I don't like what they like, you get banned. Is this what we're doing now?
I'm going to post something on Twitter right now.
Because I'm sorry, right, but if this is where we're going, then football's done. Because if you seriously cannot accept criticism, then it shows to me the type of person that you are. Just sitting there, just at the end of the day, right? Opinion's an opinion. This is North Korea, where everything must be said to something that you agree with. We have opinions there. You have to agree with everything we say, but you don't sit there and just block out people because you don't like what they've got to say about it. It's not some. This is the thing is, you know what's going to happen. This is going to start appearing in the Premier League at some point.
Yeah, it's already dead, isn't it? It's already dead, to be honest.
Kind of, yeah. It's not very much, but it's starting to peer in, and this is when you lose fans. This is when the Premier League itself kind of corrupts, and kind of becomes a shit league again. Because at the end of the day, right, when you start doing stuff like this, you ruin everything, and you force everyone away from the big leagues, and the money goes away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and people forget the Premier League has never been the best league in the world, like English Division, Premier League, whatever you call it. It's never been the best in the world. Arguably 1980s when like Liverpool, Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa all won the European Cup. Sure. But other than that, England has never been the best at football. Never. The reason why England became so good in the 2010s is because of foreign investments and a lot of attention in the league. Once that goes away, how do Premier League clubs compete against these teams from like La Liga when the money goes away?
You're seeing your tweet, Alf. For God's sake.
Premier League teams already can't beat La Liga.
Oh, brilliant! Oh, if you get blocked by the club, I'd laugh. I'm like, really? Is this what we're doing?
I don't think I'd get blocked because I've said a few stuff already to the club, like replying to them and stuff. I doubt I'll get blocked. Honestly, if I get blocked off of that, I'll be surprised that I've not been blocked already. Because I've said words. I've absolutely said words.
Yeah. Oh well.
But
anyway,
I mean,
again, Bournemouth come Sunday. Yeah, for football match. Apparently.
So Bournemouth. I think I'm about the only Man City fan who's predicting us to win against Bournemouth because you know what? Bournemouth actually have quite a few injuries as well. But here's the thing: I think we'll lose in the semis. I think we'll get Brighton or Aston Villa and they'll play us off the park. I think they'll absolutely play us off the park. They are teaching us to accept being worthless. You know what, yeah? They kind of are, isn't it? They're already trying to teach, they're trying to make the fans feel like they can't change anything, and then they'll come back with the European Super League. When fans are used to being unable to affect what the club does, that's when they'll come with the European Super League. And there won't be any protests because it doesn't help. Didn't help with the tickets. They'll just gradually make things worse and worse, and fans will just accept it. Look up learned helplessness. If you ever want to learn about indoctrination and about mind control, like on a global scale, look up learned helplessness, because I'm not going to say the word, but 1930s and Germany, it actually happened. So just saying, don't tell me that I'm a conspiracy theorist. Like, it all comes from that theory. So it is absolutely happening already. It is absolutely happening, I think. Big up to Oliver Jensen, by the way. I think you're a new subscriber. Maybe as an American, I see it different, but I'd die for 80 per ticket. to go to games here.
Yeah, in America it's crazy, but over there the wages are different to us over here. I'm not saying that it's a fair comparison, but I think even for you guys, a lot of money for him. It's crazy how much it is fair. But then I think as well over here it should be fair for everyone really. It should be fair on the wages that you earn anyway. That's what it should be.
Yeah, my thing is with that though. Like obviously Americans earn more money. Like if you actually if you buy something from Amazon and you're in America, you'll actually pay more than if you buy it in Europe, because they have to change the prices for Europeans because Europeans cannot afford a lot of stuff, and South America is even worse. So the United States is probably one of the most inflated wages in the world. The amount of money Americans make is not really comparable to Great Britain, and even then, it's already bad. It's already bad, isn't it? I'm joking, Oliver. It's because you changed your PFP. I'm not stupid. I'm joking, but it's already bad, isn't it? Yeah, can't wait for Sunday. 1 billion side passes, 1 trillion backwards. Yeah. What's the one biggest issue with our style of play? What's the one biggest issue with our style of play that you hate the most?
Very, very slow. Slow. Repair. There's no actual ability to say, you know what, just go for it. I'm not even asking for, look, obviously don't lose control, but like you can still have control, but all the talent and play. And this is the thing. You've got players like Haaland and Marmoush in your team that could get behind defenses. Why not use them?
That is close. I was just saying in chat as well. 0 crosses to Haaland. Like other than Salvinho, who crosses to Haaland?
Kev can do it, but Kev's not on the pitch most of the time now.
Yeah.
Kevin cannot play a full 90 anymore, I think. In the Premier League.
The thing in Serie A, he'd be able to easily.
Oh,
as I said before.
Yeah. Serie A,
very easily.
But here's my thing with De Bruyne. He's not washed. Like, put him in Serie A, he'll be great. But for Man City, you know what that means? In the Premier League, it's just so intense, so physical. I think he can play 20 minutes off the bench. But then that's like the most he can do, I think. Maybe 30 minutes, but at least use him for 20 minutes if we need a goal. Don't just keep him on the bench all game. That's my thing with Kevin. Don't forget Bernardo starting over Marmoush, by the way.
Oh, please don't. I can't do it again.
Oh, man.
If I see Gundogan Kovacic, turn it off, walk outside, cry. Please play some attack footballers, please. And please play some good stuff. I'm not even asking for a trophy this year. Just play some good football so I can be excited to watch the games.
I need reparations. I need reparations for this season.
Reparations?
I expect that to come through. And some reparations for the ticket prices as well, of course.
Yeah, but mate, I'm saying this now, right? If this continues to get worse and worse, right, and they release season tickets, mate, increase prices, mate, trust me, that protest is coming. It's coming.
Play 4-4-2 says stop online hate. Pep Guardiola will have a mental breakdown. Pep Guardiola will have a mental breakdown if you suggest that to him. Talking about Gundogan, by the way. If he has 3 more games, I believe he has to start them. I'm not sure, but if he has 3 more games, he gets an automatic extension.
Fulham away last game. He's done it. 1 more year. It's just like cry. Oh, great! More that. I love the one, by the way. I think out of the 3, I think he's probably been the better player out of the 3 this season. I think the issue is that when you play the three guys together, it just looks
it can't work.
It's really sad. Yeah. Again, I'm playing Nico Gundogan and De Bruyne or Nico Gundogan covers. I don't mind that. I wish you have someone sitting there who can be a bit of pace. But you play Gundogan at DM with Kovacic DM. I'm just sitting there thinking you're clueless for doing that because I love Pep, but at times he's own worst enemy at times. Pep, he really is.
Yeah, reminded of when Havertz scored against us in the Champions League final.
Oh god.
Like some people might think I'm a masochist because I keep bringing it up, but the thing is, that final, that was also Pep working against himself. The problem is when Pep, like, no disrespect to Pep, when he doesn't have the players he needs, he crumbles, and that not every world-class manager ever crumbles when they don't have the players they need. This season, I don't think we are as bad as the table suggests. I think played for the player, we could have been top 3. Maybe even top 2. Because played for the player, even with all the injuries, we are not that bad. But Pep Guardiola can't play his style of football with these players. So change your style of for just one season, because injuries change your style of football. But no, Pep is stubborn. He won't do that. Even if he knows that he can't play football like this season, he will say, "Yep, I'll do it anyways."
The thing is, we're not even asking for a simple. I'm not even asking to play at a high level. I just want us to get some results together, confidence together, goals together, end it strong. Look, I'm not going to beat the club up over the window because there's no point in that. It's been done now. I mean, January was a good start, so I'm not going to sit here and say club and summer. It doesn't matter, because if we say that, it's being a dead horse at this point. Like, it's kind of pointless talking about that. So the only thing I want to see is just a little bit of like a sign that we're actually starting to move towards, change it. And in the summer, we can bring players in, players can go out, and we can start seeing a real change up next year. But all I want to see is a bit more positivity in the team.
Here is the thing. Here is the thing as well by This Is City, and this is actually something I wanted to talk about as well. Gundogan can still play those through balls. So here's the thing. Yeah, I think we can't sell everyone off. We can't sell, because let's go through the players who we want to leave. Nunez, not good enough. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. Gundogan, not good enough.
Yeah.
Kovacic, not good enough.
Yeah.
Silva, not good enough anymore.
No, not anymore, no.
To defense, Kyle Walker.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not good enough anymore.
McAtee is going to be part of the deal for the words.
Hopefully, if we've got a brain.
Yeah, if we got a brain. So let's just assume we've got a brain. Grealish.
Yeah, I think Grealish's time is all but done now.
Yeah, which is actually sad, because I think he could have been really good for us if he applied himself. Because I think he had some really good talent. Yeah. He just didn't apply.
Yeah,
to be fair, Pep didn't help him, but he didn't help himself either.
Yeah.
Then Calvin Phillips is still on our books. Don't forget.
Oh my lord, we're still paying him.
Who? Oh yeah, him.
So we are now at 8 players. 8 players. Let's say maybe Rico Lewis out on the loan. I see a lot of people talking about Lewis out.
He's off.
Oh,
Wolfman's off.
Yeah, Wilson
you still have Esperance.
I can't believe he's still there.
He's a left back. You should play him. No, okay.
I forgot.
Left back. Well, we don't use him.
So that's 10 players. 10 players we have to get rid of in one window. We can't get rid of all of them.
Yeah, you're not getting rid of all of them.
You probably get rid of 5 at most, if you're lucky.
You can only do 6 loans in a single, at a time. You can only have 6 players on loan at a time. So let's say we loan out Lewis, because a lot of people want Lewis to get loaned out. I doubt it. But let's just say, for the argument's sake, let's say you loan out some of the older players that you can't sell off and some academy players. Now, if you can't sell everyone, I'll tell you who you can sell for some money. Kovacic. Kovacic you can sell for money, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva is just too bad. You have to loan him out, in my opinion. He just doesn't work.
Gundogan you can't. Gundogan you definitely can't sell him anymore. He's about £5 billion at most, if you're lucky. He hits the player he used to be anymore. De Bruyne, you can definitely get. Well, De Bruyne is give him one more deal.
De Bruyne is willing to accept lower wages, though. Which if he's taking lower wages, if he's taking lower wages and saying, "Sure, I'll play behind words and I'll be like the mentor for the words," I'm taking
That's
that in
fine.
a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
I would
Imagine
prefer
Wirtz
if he
is
took a
working there.
coaching. I would prefer if he took a coaching role, but I don't think he's got interest in becoming a coach. If I'm being honest.
Not yet. I think he might do eventually, but not yet. I think I can see Kev come back here at some point as a coach at some point. Not necessarily a manager, but as like a coach. Like, imagine we had Gundogan and bloody and De Bruyne as the coaches.
And
But then we
Fernandinho.
also- Oh, imagine
And
And
Vincent
Foden, yeah.
Kompany.
company manager. Oh, please. I need that. We need that.
Grapple with Company to finally win Champions League as manager for Man City. There you go. Because he never won it as a player, didn't it?
And get Sergio
what,
Aguero
right?
on the coach staff too.
That would actually feel better than the treble if that happened. By the way, because to see the players we've seen them play for the club and lift trophies and see them do that, it'd be unbelievable. Obviously, it's a pipe dream, so we're not sitting here if it's going to happen. But how Fernandinho kind of coming in the summer, I'm excited to see what he's going to do. Because again, look, as you said earlier on, Alf, like it isn't just the players we have to get rid of. Some of them, it's also the coaching staff as well. Some of them ain't good enough anymore.
Yeah.
Or is it outdated now? We've got to start moving with the times now.
And this was a long-winded way to get back to this. If we have to keep any of the older players right now, I think Gundogan or Kovacic is the two that we really talk about. Of Bernardo Silva, Kovacic, Gundogan. If we trigger that extra year by Gundogan, he will retire at Man City, and we can keep him as a extra for a couple games and stuff. It's not great, but I think for just a couple games for the old 10 minutes here and there, that's fine. And the player I want is Barrios. Now, a lot of people don't rate Barrios, but I really do rate. We won't get him, but I rate that man. He is a baller and already happy being on the bench, by the way, and young. By the way, Connect from Rosa here. What is your stance on Pep in, Pep out?
Right now, I am completely Pep in.
Completely?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Next season, if I'm seeing a lack of improvement, even with good windows, I'm more than willing to speak about it, and depending on how bad it is too. Like if I'm seeing 1 win in 14 again next season,
I don't think you'll get to 1 win in 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Pep knows that. I think this year was a surprise to everyone. How bad it is. I think it's been a collective failure of everyone.
Yeah.
Not just the manager and the players, but the board as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and beat a dead horse there, but we all know the issues, man. I'm not going to go to it again.
I
But
like
the
beating
summer,
dead
right?
horses.
I know you like to, but I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm done. I'm bored of
Yeah.
it now. But I think in the summer, right, we'll give them a chance. But if they don't get it right in the summer, I'm not asking for it to all be rebuilt in one summer. Just get the main part of the rebuild done, then do little tweaks after that to get it properly sorted out in January and going forward. But for me, the midfield needs sorting at least, and the fullbacks. Midfield needs sorting out this window.
Yeah.
Everything else can be done at the same time, but get the fullbacks sorted out because we can't have Rico and Nunez as our right back. Come on, man, what are we doing here?
It's a nightmare.
You know what the thing is, though? Both Lewis and Nunez can be sold for money. Both of them can be sold for money. If we're willing to sell Lewis, and I am. I know a lot of people aren't, but I am willing to sell him for money. And if he becomes a baller elsewhere, fair enough, but I promise you, he's not going to be a baller and right back. He'll be a midfielder. And we don't need him as a midfielder. We have better options.
That's the issue. He's a good player for if you look at someone like Brighton, he'd be good. Brighton or something like Bournemouth, he'd be great for them. But I think for us, it's like McAtee, same sort of thing. They're not bad players whatsoever. They're pretty good, but they're not good enough for us right now. Foden was a talented player. Bob, I'm still hopeful. But Bob, I think I'll give him next year at least to get some good game time.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got to see Bob really kick on next year because I think Bob for me now is now on a timer now, because if he doesn't kick on from there and doesn't really build on what he was doing beforehand, he can end up going out on loan or being sold. I'm not saying I want that to happen, by the way, because I love Oscar Bob, but you can't just keep players around for the sake of it.
Yeah,
you have to...
we can get English stacks on Lewis, by the way. He's pure profit on the books. We're not keeping Calvin Phillips. Big up to online hate or stop online.
Phillips to me is just no.
You know what the problem is
that was
with
2
Calvin
teams ago.
Phillips? You know what the problem is with him for me? Because people are talking about you, like, I think LB said it, that he could have been a decent player for us. I don't think he had the talent. Like, blatantly, I don't think he had the talent. He had one good season at Leeds. I just don't think he had the talent. Like, some players, yeah, they have a good season at a club, and then you think, okay, now you bring them in, and they're gonna, no. They're not always gonna improve from where they were in it. Like, sometimes you have young players, 21-year-old, with already finished products. But yeah, for Lewis, we still can get some decent money because he's an English player as well. Will we see Bob on the squad on Sunday? I don't think so. What do you think?
I would like him.
I'd love it.
Yeah,
I would love it.
I don't think he's going to be there.
Yeah, we would all love it. But do you think we will see him on the squad?
Also, right, how long are you going to leave it for? Because this is what I'm going to say, right? You can't bubble wrap him. At some point, you've got to say, right, fit. I feel fit. I'm ready to go. Right, in the squad on the bench. Then, hour in. Right, Bob's on for Savio. Right, go and give it a go. Because this thing injuries, right? I say Rodri, you can't keep them just sat on the bench or out of fear of getting them injured again. Look, they get injured again, it is what it is. But as long as the fitness team signs them off and they're ready to go, what's the issue? He's not ready. He's not ready yet. But then again, he's played football for the EDS team, so he's played football recently.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he should be starting on Sunday because maybe he shouldn't be, especially after that kind of injury. But we're asking, like Echeverri, on the bench, cameos here and there, build the confidence and fitness up. Don't just let him rot on the reserves, man. Give him a chance.
Yeah. Absolutely. Words. Connect has to go in.
I wish we have that right now.
Connect has to go in a bit. So before you go, because I think me and Luke will continue a bit after you go. You can go on about anything you want before you go, because obviously you have to go a bit early. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I'll just mention Bob and Echeverri. I think I agree with Bob and how he's kind of got in the nicest way possible, he's got a kick on next season, because it's so unfortunate with what happened to him at the beginning of this season, because I was so excited to see him after that pre-season. I wanted him to start against Chelsea, but then he got that injury. And now look, Bob's turning 22 this year, which means at the end of next season he's going to be 23. He's leaving. He's going to, by 2027 he's leaving that youngster bracket. I know that's a couple of years away, but still it's something to watch out for. So yeah, Bob's really got to kick on next year. I don't think he's going to be in the squad against Bournemouth. I just don't think he is. It's a shame because I want him to be there. And on Echeverri, I'm glad that the rumours were denied that he's not going on loan, or supposedly denied anyway. Neither source was too big, so for now I'm just going to assume he's not going on loan.
Well, from what I saw, I'm not sure if it's correct, but from what I saw, he was in Rome for personal issues, and he went to a restaurant there, which was close to the training ground, and the entire rumours were made up.
Yeah, I mean that it feels like the kind of thing media would try and make up. To be honest, especially during an international break. But I would love to see Echeverri in the squad on Blinking Sunday, and if he's not there, I'm going to be so curious as to why. Because Bob, fair enough, he got an injury and he's still just coming back. Fair enough. But Echeverri's been training with us for it's got to be just over a month now. You know, it's in that month period, and he's played minutes with Argentina beforehand. I don't know why he's not in the squad, but yeah, that's really
it's shocking that he's not even been in the squad once. That's shocking to me.
Wild.
That is shocking to me. By the way, Oliver, I don't know if it's still in. That I'm using that as a thumbnail. That's brilliant. He's just sent me something on the Twitter. That's brilliant. I'm going to use that as a thumbnail. What song are you bobbing your head to? You won't know the song. So, Connect. When do you have to go again? Because I don't think so.
Right about now, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I think I'll take my lead now. Big ups, everyone. Have a great rest of the stream.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, I accidentally killed Luke. My apologies. There you go. There you go. You're back. I accidentally took you off stream. I'm using that as a thumbnail, Oliver. Is it possible Echeverri not as good as we had hoped?
No,
Yes,
I don't.
but how do we know that if he's not even played?
Is what we mean. We're not even asking for a start. We're not even asking for that. I'm asking for cameos for the rest of the season on the bench. Because remember, again, if he gets in the first game and gets a couple goals, all right, I'm telling you then. Because in the day, right, we won't know until we try. So we're saying we're not demanding you must start Echeverri and O'Reilly again over De Bruyne. No, of course not. Like we're not stupid here. We just want Pep to at least give him a go to see this. Like, look, we know, I think more than anything, right, that he's very young and needs to learn about the English game. Look, Alvarez came in and took a little bit of time, but Alvarez kicked on when the form hit in. And to be fair, Alvarez was a good player. 37, 38 goals, despite not starting many games, was a brilliant tally.
You remember at the start of the treble season when Alvarez was coming off the bench after Haaland scored a hat-trick, which he actually did quite a lot. Every time Haaland scored a hat-trick...
Alvarez was good, though. But Alvarez scored some goals, though. Was it Forest at home? Brilliant. It was the Burnley game when he absolutely mugged off a 6'5" centre-back and then just smashed it in. I thought, this guy's from Argentinian, the striker. This is a proper, like, very similar to Aguero, Alvarez. I'm not saying the same player, but very similar style of goal scoring. And Alvarez, to me, obviously, is still very young as well. There's a lot more to do as well at Atletico. I'm sure he'll do really well for Atletico over the years. But if it wasn't the Haaland, Alvarez will be a lot more goals by now. For us, probably a lot more goals than we would have been. But then but when you got Haaland, the best striker in the world, in my opinion, there's not much you can read about that. But I think with Echeverri, there's definitely someone in there. But we can't. I'm not sitting here expecting him to hit the ground running. I just want to see him play.
Yeah.
Imagine him and Marmoush together. That'd be awesome to watch.
You know what, though? You know what is one thing I don't get? When people say you need to, like, these basically to get used to the physicality of the Premier League, like, listen, I've watched some South American football. Big up to Jay, who made me watch some South American football. By the way, those South American football games, they're so good to watch. Have you ever watched Brazilian football? It's incredible to watch. But
I watch Santos quite a lot. I watch Santos, River Plate, Independiente. Brilliant football.
Those are physical leagues.
Well, it's why I've always been a big fan of Neymar. I've got a Neymar Santos top still, but I've got myself. I wanted to get myself Alvarez and Echeverri River Plate tops and all sorts of stuff.
Get an Alvarez and Neymar get next to each other.
Yeah. See, Joe, I still might actually get some South American kits in the back actually, along because I'm a big Brazilian. Well, Brazil team now is shite, but the Brazil team back in the day, when they were actually a elite team, like even Alano and Neymar to get represented Wembley, but like Alano is one of my favorite all-time City players. But when you actually look at the Brazilian ballers that are coming out, like you even have like Marlos, or and Genio and that players like that. Like I miss the days where Brazilian players were actually elite ballers. Like Savinho, I really like him. I've seen enough to say, there's someone in there. But with him, he's got to be a bit more refined in how he does it.
Yeah,
that's Savinho. I think Savinho's better. I think for me, comparing both players, him and Doku, I prefer Savinho. Doku I do like, however, Doku for me needs to calm down in terms of how he does. Because if he can slow down and work on that side of the game, he's one of the best wingers in the world.
You know what the thing actually? Because people have gotten so used to watching Grealish that they get gassed when they see Doku. But, like, there's a healthy middle ground there. Like, erratic is not a good thing. Super slow is not a good thing. You have to have a healthy middle ground. I believe that with almost everything in life, there's always going to be a middle ground there, which is a healthy space.
Because the thing is, Jack's not a bad player either. Jack's not a bad player. He's still a very, very good player. He's not well class, in my opinion.
He's a very, very good player, but he's not attacking.
He was never a City player, in my opinion. I never wanted. The thing is, right, if I'm being real, right, when I heard we got Willington, I thought, okay. I wasn't really sitting there thinking, look, I'm sure my Twitter feed must something differently because we When he signed Grealish for £100 million, he's like, whoa, £100 million player from City, amazing. But being realistic here, Jack wasn't my first choice for left winger to come in. I want a striker first.
I wanted Jared Bowen back when we got Jack Grealish. I remember I said I wanted Jared Bowen, and everyone called me stupid. Nowadays, everyone sucks Jared Bowen off.
I wanted Haaland before Harry Kane anyway. I said before, Haaland's right there. It's a release clause.
Yeah, I hated Haaland before he came to Man City because he didn't come to Club Brugge. You don't know the story. Before he came to Man City, I hated him because he was supposed to come to Club Brugge, and then Club Brugge absolutely flunked that deal.
Have you watched his Dortmund goals, man? They're insane. Like some of the goals
I watched him at Dortmund. I watched him.
him and even was it Salzburg? Unbelievable. Like generally, the guy for me, right, is still probably the best at doing it what he does. And I said before, he is the solution to the issues. Last year he wasn't great. He couldn't score one-on-ones. Had a really terrible time in front of goal. This year, much better at doing that. This year, I see. I still haven't been as much as they have been. But that's because the team let him down rather than him himself. But if you give him a good team around him, trust me, the goals start coming back again very easily. Like he's that kind of player where against Van Dijk, against the Saliba and Gabriel, he can do it because he knows the big. No, sorry.
Yeah, his thing about last season that I want to comment on. That's not true.
Yeah. Last
season we rushed him back from injury. That's why in fact, we'll go through these statistics right now because this is the biggest myth that he was bad last season. Last season, he was class, especially in his link-up play. That was some of his best link-up play last season that we've ever seen from Haaland. But let me show you some statistics here about Haaland before his injury, after he got rested against Aston Villa, and in between. And you'll see it's completely different. And when you have players like Haaland, like, here's the thing, right? Again, it's about middle ground. You can't rush players back into injury like we've done all season. You can't bubble wrap them like Oscar Bob either. And let me show you some statistics here now. Let me make sure that I can share the screen with you. This is also so annoying to do. They need to make this easier on here, I can't lie. There you go. They actually need to make it easier, though. And let me share the screen with Jet as well. There you go. Oh, why is it so small? That's what she said. So you see those statistics. You see those statistics because we'll be scrolling. Yeah, that's not a bad season, is it? Because he actually outscored Aguero's best season, by the way, in that season.
I'm not saying he was terrible, but I think Haaland, right, is because I think there were times where one-on-one he just couldn't seem to it wasn't consistent enough for front of goal. Like there's some where I really thought he'd be betting it, but he never seemed to do it. But this year,
what I'll do here is I'll just scroll a bit here, and you see this is the area you're talking about. This is what you're talking about right after his injury. Over here, he's scoring pretty much every game. Here, after his injury, it's suddenly sparse. Then you rest him again, and suddenly he's back scoring again.
Yeah.
Like that is the thing with Haaland. Yeah, he didn't have a bad season. He was rushed back. That's the thing.
That
every game except for Fulham and West Ham. And against Fulham, I thought he played well, by the way. He was unlucky not to score.
That Wolves game, I was there for that, and that header he got, the way he loved it, that was unbelievable. Like, I'll be honest with you, right? He's got better at heading. He's a lot better than he used to be. He's so good up in the air, and you know as well, right? His all-round game is just massively improved. Like passing, he's good at now. At hold-up play. But then again, I think, well, I don't mind hold-up play, but I want you to get in the box as well and get some goals. Like, you're the striker. Like, I don't like for me, right? Look, it's being real about Sunday, right? If Foden does start, now look, I'm not against it, but with Foden, we've got to accept what Foden actually is. He's not a creator. He isn't.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, and I've criticized Foden this season. I've criticized everyone. When he's played on the left wing and overlapped with Marmoush, like in the Newcastle game, he's been very good. But he doesn't get the GA, so he doesn't get praise for it.
Yeah. here's the thing, right? I mean, I think for me on Sunday, what I want to see is like I'm not too bothered about GA necessarily. I just want this is for him to improve. Like I want to see, you know what? I'm not expecting goals and assists, but I'm expecting you to put the levels up a bit more. Just look, I get what he's gone through. It's a lot, and trust me, I've been there myself. But when you're playing on the pitch, your mind forget about that stuff. Focus on the hand. Because we get how it is. Like it ain't easy. You know, I'm sure if you're popular, especially with criticism, I'm sure it's way worse than what we do anyway. But it doesn't mean that you forget your job. But on the pitch, right? For those 90 minutes, you're on there to do a job and work hard for the team. That's all we ask for. Look, goals and assists will come naturally to you, but we just don't. But we do. People need to worry. Like, I think with GA, it's so often looked at as a common thing. Like it's all well and good getting GA, but if you play shit and get away with it, that's very common. Like, it's all about performances for me. But now, perform well, and the GA will come. That's how it works. Yeah. It's not the other way around.
Yeah, that's what I say as well about Savinho and Doku. If they keep performing well, they'll get GA at some point. But with an asterisk to that, Doku doesn't actually perform as well as people claim, but that's completely different. For me, the thing is with Foden, first of all, he needs to get off social media, bro. He needs to get off social media.
He does, yeah.
By the way, Leverkusen 1-1 against Bochum. Yeah, that Bundesliga title is pretty much done. But I believe Bayern München are like 6 points ahead with a game in hand. That's done, isn't it? But what I want from Foden here is I want to figure out what is this guy's position. Like, is he going to be a double 8 next season with like Wirtz or whoever else we bring in? Let's say we bring in Baena. Here's the problem with Baena. He plays in a 4-4-2. He plays in a 4-4-2. Yeah. That's not the same as being an attacking midfielder. Because he's a box-to-box midfielder more than an attacking midfielder. He plays box-to-box and he plays on left wing. So when people say get Baena, well, sure, I like Baena, but I don't think he's going to be it for the Man City, to be honest. Here's the thing. I don't know who's going to be it for Man City. Because Foden has never been a provider of assists either. He's been a good goal scorer. He's got some assists, but did you know Haaland in treble season got more assists than Foden last season?
Yeah, he did. And this is the thing. And once people start realizing that GA doesn't be a Wendell, trust me, I'll see different. Obviously, there's a lot of discourse about Foden right now. I get it, but for me, I'm not bothered about this whole GA debate because a lot of people are player FC. That's never going to change. These people are not fans of teams; they're fans of players, and that's just weird, in my opinion. But whatever you want to do, your life, I suppose. But I'm here to support the team, and in the day, he's for the team. And yeah, he's from the academy. Great. All I see players come through from us, but it doesn't mean that he'll give him this treatment. Like again, I'm not talking about his mental health. Different entirely. That I understand with and sympathise with him. I hope he sort of gets help with it. As you said, get off social media. Just hand it off to the management. Ignore it for how long you need to ignore it for. Get your head right in that regard. Look, the overall physical health side of it, that's something you have to get used to over time. That's fine. But the mental health side of it in terms of social media, that's something of now. Do that now to help yourself in the future.
Yeah. But by the way, Oliver sent me. Oliver, I don't know if you're still in stream yet, but I swear to God, you've got agendas, mate. How do you Photoshop this stuff so quickly? Is this AI? Is this like AI? How do you make this shit so quickly? I guess that must be AI. It looks pretty good over AI. Like, let me just share that with you, Luke. AI looks so fucking realistic now, doesn't it? Here we go. I
can put in, a player in a city top, like Wirtz in a city top. Bosh, yeah. It's there, ready to go.
Yeah, AI looks so realistic now, doesn't it?
What? The Tongan and Alderweireld with Wait, what is UCL on the same pitch? Well, do we win it twice a year?
No. It's our second Champions League. Like on Pep Guardiola's retirement, and Alderweireld is your assistant coach. Vertonghen is there just to beat it, I suppose. Big up to Vertonghen. Do you make that with AI? I genuinely want to know. Do you make that with AI? Oh, predictions for Sunday. I'll go 2-1 to Man City, or 1-2 to Man City.
I'll go 2-1. Same man. I just look, if we get loads of goals, great. Happy game, happy Sunday, happy wins, 3 or 4 goals, I'll be happy. But for being realistic here, it's gonna be a hard game. But Bournemouth without Kirkage Poison. Yeah. Give me a win, get Wembley, sung at Wembley again. I'd love to do that. Go day out Wembley, a few years, have a good time, see if we get to a final again. And you never know what might happen. But yeah, again, for me now it's one game at a time, not for a title for that, but just to get through the season. One game at a time. Let's see what happens.
5-0 City, easy W from Blackjack.
I would absolutely love it. It was 5-0, mate. I'm like, wait, I say, where you been? Where you been all this season then? Like 5-0 now.
Honestly, you know what's here? Imagine if we win 5-0 playing the kids. Like, let's imagine Pep Guardiola tries to throw away to. Let's imagine Pep Guardiola throws away the FA Cup and then we win 5-0.
Yeah, you're like, the kids are playing against Bournemouth, and not the old men. Yeah, exactly. It'd be very typical.
Maybe Chelsea needs to start playing their kids because they beat their senior team. How embarrassing is that, by the way, for the senior team to lose 3-0 to the kids in a training match? I know training match all that, but like still.
Yeah, I can't see Chelsea getting top 5, mate. For being real with you.
What are their fixtures? I know they have a few tough ones left. I suppose
Newcastle will be
hard.
Newcastle will be a hard one for us because trust me, after they've done that, and Gordon's back as well. Isak and Gordon will lock in.
Yeah, what's your take on this? Because this is City. I think you're hoping with this one, to be honest. Maybe Bournemouth don't take it seriously and want to focus on the league. What do you think?
Possibly. I think for me, because the thing is, if they get far right, that's one game they have to worry about at Wembley. Now, I know this is a big game for them anyway, and if they do win, good on them, and for those to go far.
Yeah.
But I think for them, like you got to think, if they weren't going for Europe right now, they'd be up for it even more. But if everything shit, so we're in a top 4 battle here in March. Fair play to them in March. We got to think because Newcastle will be the same thing. Well, they're out now, so they actually will go for it. But
think about it like this for the Bournemouth. Top 5 is looking incredibly competitive. FA Cup is 1, a trophy, which they have not won in forever. And 2, it's also Europe. You win the FA Cup, you get Europa League.
It's what I mean. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. I think look, either way, it's a hard game on Sunday. I think for me, get the win, get the vibe. Look, again, the vibes are good in training, but I want to see us do it more than just in training. Start doing it every game because beat Bournemouth, beat Leicester, right? Good start. Then we've got United away after that. I think if we do beat them, just go on a run. Go on a run of games.
That's what happens. Well.
Yeah. So one game at a time. On Sunday. Let's go for it. Come on, let's go for it.
Yeah, they've never won a trophy. Thank you, right, Jack. I wasn't sure if they had won a trophy or not, but yeah, they've never won a trophy. This is a lot bigger than them than getting Europe. Because let's be honest, they get Conference League. Are they winning the Conference League? No, they're getting destroyed by the first Spanish team they play. They're not winning the Conference League, are they now?
Yeah, I think Newcastle win the Conference League. They got that. That's because of Isak and Gordon, I think, and Guimaraes, but
Kirkes and Huijsen are suspended for this game. Is that correct?
They are. Yeah.
Okay,
so
I rate Kirkes, by the way. I think he's very good.
But then Sol's a good player as well. So it's not necessarily a bad downgrade. Kirkes. Soler, he's a young.
Yeah.
on left back. He's pretty good. So it's not necessarily for me. I'm not bothered about who's missing for them. I want us to actually go there and compete and win. I
How
don't
old
care
is
who's playing for them.
Kudkas?
Is he 20, 21? I think.
I want him at Man City. If we can't get anyone else, bring him in. Like, I want Theo Hernandez. If we can't get Theo, bring him in. Left back.
Milos
Because
Kerkesh.
he has quality. He has quality.
He's
I
21.
thought watching
He's 21, mate.
21.
21.
Right. So let me look up the league table, by the way, because I've actually not looked at the league. Normally, you know what I used to do? I used to look at the Premier League table every fucking day. I was looking at the table every fucking second of the day, bro. But this season, well, we're not winning the Premier League, are we? Yeah.
If we do, I'll be like, what the hell have Liverpool done? Arsenal done?
I think it's mathematically impossible now, isn't it? How many points are we behind? 22.
Even if it wasn't right, I wouldn't take it. Like, nope. Don't give us a trophy. We don't deserve this. It'd be like fraudulent 5 in a row. Imagine 5 in a row like this. Alf. Like, no. Fraud.
Honestly, I take
we
it.
got 5 in a row. No, you didn't. Fraud.
I would take it, to be honest. I would take it.
It's like that meme of Homer Simpson, where like he's got like a flat stomach, of a 5 in a row. Back's like all the fat folded up. It's like one win 14.
Yeah, so we're 22 points behind Liverpool, 10 points behind Arsenal, 6 points behind Nottingham Forest, 1 point behind Chelsea, and you can get 27 more points. So for us to get the league title, and our goal difference is way worse, Liverpool cannot pick up 6 points from the last 9 games. If that happens, honestly, sack the entire club from Liverpool. If that happens, but nah. What I want to look at here, is Chelsea right now. Who do they have to play? I think we won't catch up with Nottingham Forest, if I'm being honest. So Chelsea play Tottenham. Do you think they win, lose? Just say your prediction for that game.
Tottenham, win. Yeah, win.
Yeah,
just about.
Chelsea win. Brentford away.
Lose.
Okay, I think I'll draw. Chelsea Ipswich down. I mean, that's a win.
Ipswich.
Yeah, Ipswich. Massive, isn't it? Fulham away.
You know what? That's gonna be a loss. Fulham are a good team, by the way. They're a good team.
Yeah, they're decent. And Chelsea are struggling right now too. Everton at home.
Draw. Everton not bad.
I can see a draw. Everton have picked up form, haven't they? They always do this at the end of the season. They pick up form.
Moyes is a good manager. Moyes is a good manager. Always has been. It's just that United was a poison chalice.
Realistically, by the way, reading from chat here, realistically, Man City should have won either the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, if not the title. They fumbled everything this season. Well, we're still in the FA Cup, so not everything quite yet. Then Chelsea, Liverpool, Chelsea at home.
Draw, I think probably like a boring 1-1 draw.
Really, I think Liverpool will destroy that.
Liverpool for me at the moment look dodgy, mate. Liverpool win the league, mate, but they're going to limp over the line.
Fair.
Van Dijk, Salah, unsure right now. I think it'll be a hobbled title win. You know, like we did, hobble over the line, get it done, and
Newcastle at St James Park.
Newcastle win that easily. They will batter Chelsea.
I think Newcastle is on a high right now. I think Newcastle will be winning game after game after that Carabao Cup win. I think they're just.
I think that's the goal scorer.
Sorry,
I think Salah. I don't think Salah gets Golden Boot. I don't think he does. I think Isak or Haaland go on a run.
Well, if it's Salah against Haaland, I think it's going to be Haaland because Newcastle don't score as much, and well, this season we've been worse, but I just don't think Isak is going to win a Golden Boot, to be honest. Chelsea against Man United at Stamford Bridge.
Draw. God. They're boring enough.
Mid-off. mid of.
Mid
Nottingham
off.
Forest Nottingham Forest at home against Chelsea. I think Forest win.
Forest will win that one. I'll be honest with you, right? Forest right now look good for top 4. I know it's something to say, but mate, it's almost April and they're still top 4. And they beat us 1-0.
I think they'll get over the line for top 4.
If they do, I'm giving Nuno manager of the year for what he's done. But like to turn a relegation team.
I'm already giving him manager of the year, even if they fall off now.
Because honestly, even Europe, even Conference League right now, will be unbelievable for them. Like they have been honestly right to have Chris Wood up front. By the way, good striker. Elanga, Hudson-Odoi, and the team they've had around them isn't that good compared to other teams, and they've got top 4, third right now, pushed towards second. Fair play.
Yeah, and they might get second because Arsenal actually have some difficult fixtures left there. But from the Chelsea games we just went through, Chelsea picked up, I believe, 9 points in 9 games.
Yeah.
So, yikes. Let's go through the Arsenal games here, and then we'll finish off. And Arsenal, do keep in mind, Arsenal are rushing back Saka. Like they want him to get injured.
I feel sorry for him, mate. I feel sorry for Saka. He deserves a lot better. Him and Emmanuel are ballers, bro. And they're going to get absolutely ruined.
Wanyeri, I give you if I could give Wanyeri some advice, get out of Arsenal before they play you to the ground. Because that's what happened with Saka. He will not be the same player next season. Big up to Lovie as well. We will drop points in Old Trafford. Bro, we will probably drop points in Old Trafford.
Draw.
Yeah. I'll draw probably, I think, as well. Trent has more assists than Gavi, Pedri, Frankie de Jong, and Marco Asensio combined. Casado combined. So you're comparing him to Gavi, who I don't rate, Pedri, who's an 8, and Frankie de Jong, who's our defensive midfielder. Casado is a defensive midfielder.
Casado is okay, but I wouldn't say he's like anything special.
Yeah, that's a poor comparison. Like that's a poor comparison. No offense, but like
also Trent's a better team as well. Like Barcelona are a very young team.
Barcelona is better.
Yeah, fair enough. But mate, that front three. Imagine if Barcelona play us instead of Madrid. That would even work. Imagine Yamal against Rafinha against Rico Lewis. Oh God.
Bro, they would have beat us worse than Madrid. They have their own top as well.
Do you know why? Real are overrated. I know we lost them. I know we did. Madrid, they're overrated, bro. Like they have good players individually, but as a team,
do they though?
No. It is me, by the way. Like I watched Madrid. Like Madrid have had better teams in the past that with less aura players. Like. Yeah. Did you watch? Right? Have you watched the Gareth Bale compilation of Madrid? Right, and how good he was Madrid.
He was insane for them too, and he was hated by Madridistas.
I know, but he was a baller, Bale.
Yeah,
absolute. Like, give Gareth Bale his flowers, right? Probably one of the best British exports we've had in this country. Like, he's Welsh, but like the way. He's one of my favourite ever players to come from like the UK. Unbelievable player. Yeah, and I know it's like a bit weird me picking up a player like him, but when you look at what he did for Madrid, despite hated so much by the fans, incredible. Like that goal in the Champions League final, right? Look, I love Rodrigo and Vinny. Like Vinny's not so much, but Bale's better than both of them.
Absolutely. But here's the thing, that I want to say. Like, their front three is dysfunctional. They don't have a striker. Mbappé is not a striker.
No, he's not. He's definitely playing striker.
Yeah. He can play striker, but it's not his position. Jude Bellingham is a box-to-box midfielder. He's not a striker. He's the type of player that crashes the box and gets a goal that way. We would have been so good if we had him. Like Valverde, I think he's one of the best 8s in the world. But the problem is...
I love Valverde. Him and Camavinga, I love them too. Love both of them, right?
The thing is with Madrid, they don't have a striker, they don't have a defensive midfielder, and their fullbacks are both bored because Carvajal is injured. And they have some...
I'd say they're a striker for them. Sorry, bro, I'm talking. I'd say Haaland a striker. It won't happen, thankfully. 10 more years, but I'm just saying, like, Haaland in that team with maybe Mbappe at the left and Rodrigo.
If they had
Over.
Haaland, Rodrigo, and Vini, I don't think they would get Haaland, Mbappe, and Rodrigo to
No,
play together.
no, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah, but
You're
if they
right.
had Vini, Haaland, Rodrigo, Haaland would win the Ballon d'Or 3 years in a row.
He
Like
would.
this season, last season, and the season before that, he would have won the Ballon
Yeah.
d'Or in all 3 of those seasons because they have also more PR. Anyhow,
Yep.
Arsenal now. Arsenal against Fulham at home.
Draw.
Yeah, I think I'll draw as well. Everton at Goodison Park. I think I'll draw.
Draw again. Draw.
Yeah.
I'll put Saka's back. Watch Arsenal going forward. PSV were absolutely shit against them. But then PSV went to their place, they got a draw. So Arsenal aren't that good, clearly. So
yeah.
And you'll agree with me, Alf. I think for me, Arsenal title race is done anyways. It's over. Like, unless Liverpool completely collapsed on the face of the earth, no.
They're 12 points behind. They're not coming back.
It's too much.
Especially if they draw the next 2 games. Then
if it was 5 points, it's on. 12, nah.
Yeah.
No.
Arsenal Brentford. I actually think that's not a draw. To be honest.
Because and you want to know why? 2 players that I've named that I've rated for a long time, and Mbeumo and Wissa, both underrated ballers that will be better teams in the summer. I hope. Bryan Mbeumo is a fantastic player, brilliant player.
Absolutely. He gets GA, by the way. Or Wingland gets goals.
And plays well.
Does both at once. It's shocking. Raheem Sterling gets one thing.
Right wing, left wing, brilliant.
Yeah.
At Newcastle, he cooked.
Remember when people were comparing Mbeumo to Haaland, like at the start of the season? Like they always find someone new to compare to Haaland. It's embarrassing.
But that's not fair on Brian though, because Brian's a good player in his own right. Yeah, deserves a lot more respect.
Yes.
Like Isak, I love Isak, brilliant striker. But again, both have respect in their own way. They're not Haaland, but it doesn't mean they're shit.
Yeah.
They're brilliant players that deserve a lot of respect for how well they've done for their clubs.
Absolutely. Ipswich Town away. They should win that.
They'll win that. Ipswich are fucking done, mate.
Yeah. Ipswich, is it Ipswich? No, Southampton could finish as the worst team in Premier League history.
Southampton, mate, terrible.
Arsenal against Crystal Palace at home. Palace, they struggle against a lot.
Palace are playing well at the moment, you know. Like, is it Eze who's coming recently from Millwall's doing well for them?
Yeah.
Eze, of course, baller. Mateta's back from injury. He's fine right now. I think Palace right now are playing much better than they were at the start of the year. I think Palace will definitely get a draw.
Okay, so Arsenal against Bournemouth at home at the Emirates. I think Arsenal win, to be honest. I think...
Narrow win. Narrow win. It'll be Bournemouth have Evanilson back.
Yeah.
Then... Yeah,
but I think Arsenal will win against Bournemouth because I think they're getting right at the end of the season then, and they'll probably be fighting off right at the end of the season. But then Liverpool away at Anfield. Well,
most boring title. It's going to be a draw, and no one cares. Because let's be real, right? The title contender, the only way this ends a contender is if Arsenal win their games and Liverpool drop points in like 2 or 3 games.
If Liverpool and Arsenal draw, that could be the title won, by the way, at Anfield. They could win the title at Anfield against Arsenal by having a draw.
Imagine Arsenal have got to do a guard of honour for Liverpool. I would laugh. I would laugh.
How often has it happened that the team that finished second had to do a guard of honor for the team that won?
We did, but for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Did.
But like that doesn't count because it's like COVID league. So yeah, let's go with the draw there. 11 points so far for Arsenal. Newcastle at home.
What for Arsenal? Yeah, for Arsenal.
Yeah, for Arsenal. I think
Newcastle win.
Newcastle win. Okay. Then Southampton. Southampton away is going to be a win.
Arsenal will the hell out of Southampton. No. No.
So that's 14 points in 9 games for Arsenal. Yikes. The Premier League is just awful right now, isn't it?
It's
Dani
mid. For the
Alves is no longer... Go on.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. What was it? What's I say? Yeah.
Did you forget?
From an English football fan, bro, we're nowhere near the levels right now. Look at Liverpool being the best team in the country.
The least bad team in the country.
But 2019 was the peak of Premier League team because we actually were the best in all competitions, Europa League and Champions League.
Yeah,
We had Chelsea Arsenal final, Liverpool. Well, we went out, but we're still good in it as well. We had elite teams that were getting the final consistently. This year, I have never seen so many bad teams in my life. We are probably the most embarrassing team in the UCL, the worst performance I've ever seen from a team.
We were so lucky to even get to the knockouts thing.
Imagine if Bruges beat us, bro. I'm like, I'm like, because the thing is, right? I'd rather Bruges beat us personally, because honestly, play Madrid
and getting embarrassed that way by Madrid as well. The only good thing to come out of that is Haaland scoring against Madrid.
Oh, he was good. He was brilliant against Real Madrid. It was brilliant. But
he's always been brilliant against Madrid. In the treble season, he was brilliant, but Courtois, like he's the only goalkeeper that makes those saves. And the fourth beat against Real Madrid, Haaland had the most chances created that game. Dani Alves is no longer part of Prison FC. I didn't know that Dani Alves was in jail. Catalan court acquitted him of all charges.
Yeah.
What charges was he on? Premier League referees.
I think it was sexual assault. Then I think it was sexual assault.
Oh right, the one thing every footballer does nowadays. Premier League referees average £175 a year, with top earners £250,000 a year. Thoughts on this?
Paid for what?
You know what, yeah? If the referees were incredibly good and you got sacked out of the Premier League if you didn't do good enough, I will be fine with that. But that's not the case.
Yeah. Look, the referees in this country suck anyway. We know that, so it's not. And get paid that amount of money. No surprises there. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Final subject before we end the stream here. Big up to Lovie for this comment. Premier League is broken as newly promoted teams don't have a chance even against mid-table teams. Do you agree? Disagree?
Facts.
I disagree.
Facts.
I think these newly promoted teams don't do enough.
This is what I'm going to say. That I agree with as well. I agree with both. Because the thing is, the Championship has fallen off massively. Massively fallen off. Like, have you seen the quality of team in the Championship now compared to like 10 years ago? Is way like Brentford come up and did really well.
Mm-hmm.
I still do pretty well themselves now. But you haven't got teams like Leeds come up, right? They'll be shit. Sheffield come up, they'll be shit. Burnley come up, they'll be shit. No one in that league will come up here and do well because they're not good enough anymore. And you're right as well. Forest, fair play to them, at least invested in their team. But look at Forest now, top 3.
Yeah, and you know what the thing is, yeah? People say it's PSR that's making it impossible. Look at Forest; they just ignored PSR. Like you can just ignore the PSR, you can get away with it. So
this is the thing, bro. Like I said before, like for me, like start letting teams invest money in their team. Because I would love it if the 3 teams come up, invest in their squad, good young players from other leagues, like let's say from Ligue 1, Bundesliga, or other, bought them in. Like Brentford bought in Brian Mbeumo from Ligue 2.
Yeah.
And they bought him in, and him and Watkins and Tony, brilliant players like Norgard as well. And is it Jensen? Players that no one knew where they were from, and maybe elite players. Well, not elite, but good level players in the Premier League.
You know what a better example is? Leicester City with Mahrez and Kante both coming from our second divisions.
Even Vardy Even Vardy from like non-league to Fleetwood Town, like that. That's what. You know what I mean? Well, see Mahrez, right? Mahrez from the Harvard is one of the best signs I've ever seen, because the fact that do you remember his his second year, like that year, the goals he was scoring, unbelievable. Yeah,
Miroslav Klose.
You're right.
Miroslav Klose came from non-league when he was 22.
Yeah.
Ended up being the World Cup top scorer of all time, 16 goals. Bring back tap-in strikers, man. I miss my tap-in strikers. Just score a tap.
The thing is, right, tap-in's not shit, by the way. It's Riker's job to score goals. I don't care what it is. Okay, there's a tap-in, a long shot. Like, obviously, it looks better when there's a long shot. I won't lie to you. It's great when we have hits. Like, Harder hits it on the volley, the top right.
Yeah.
I'm there. But if it's a tap-in, I'm still celebrating.
Did you see that? I don't know whose interview this was. I believe it might have been Cole, but in the interview he said, "I would rather score a tap-in than a screamer." And he says, "You know why? Because I can score tap-ins constantly, and it means I'm playing well. If I score a screamer, I can be playing badly and I can score a screamer. But if I'm scoring tap-ins, it means I'm doing my game right." And he said, "I'd rather score tap-ins than screamers." I believe it was Cole. I think it was Andy Cole who said that in an interview.
Yeah.
It happens. It's not a bad thing, isn't it? But anyhow, anything else you want to say before we close off?
Please win on Sunday. Win, please.
We've got the cross here, just in case. But anyhow, big up to everyone being in here. Now, we're going to redirect you guys over to somewhere. Great stream, so forgot to say to Luke, thanks for the shout out to Luke. I saw that as well on Twitter. I'm actually blocked by Steven. I don't know why. I've never talked to him. I don't know why he's got me blocked.
I'll be real with you, right? I don't get it, right? Look, I only block someone that being abuse you. Don't block them with your opinion, man. Like, if someone abuses you, block them. Because at the end of the day, right, it doesn't matter what you say to them, they hate you anyway. Block them, move on.
I saw, like, I remember that. I was like, 2 or 3 days ago, I was on stream and I saw a tweet from Steve. I wanted to retweet it, and I was like, oh, wait, this guy has been blocked. Why? I haven't talked to him. Maybe he blocked me because he didn't like one of my takes. I don't know. But big up to Steven anyways. He's got a football channel, doesn't he, Steven?
Yep, he does, yeah. He does.
So big up to him. I don't take it personally. I get it. If you block me, I can be an ass sometimes. But anyhow, Alfred in chat, guys, because I'm going to redirect over there to, let's see here, who is live? Zed is live. We'll redirect to him. It's not football, it's SmackDown, but it's sports, isn't it? I don't want to redirect to League Gunner. Like, he doesn't need League Gunner doesn't need my redirect, does he? So I will redirect you guys.